Hello everyone, this is Fazana from Fazana's Law, and Happy New Year 2023 to everyone and single one of you who is celebrating. And as a new year, I will try to be as consistent as possible with all of my videos. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you all my tips and tricks related to civil litigation in the legal practice course, which is one of the most important core modules that are basically located in the legal practice course itself. So if you're interested to find out all the tips and tricks related to that, then please keep watching this video till the end. And I'm going to be starting off straight away with the first 7 tips related to knowledge or understanding the module itself, which is very important when it comes to these kind of assessments, because you want to know exactly how to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and how you are understanding the topics and all those kind of things, and the workshops too. So the first thing that I will tell you definitely is to make sure that you are attending the mock. And the reason why I repeat this tip in almost all the videos related to legal practice courses is because no matter what effort you put into the mock, you're more likely to get a feedback from the teachers who will tell you exactly how to improve your answers depending on the question that they gave you in the mock. And the best part is that the questions that you're given in the mock are more likely to come up in the real exam as well, or similar to that. So it's very important that you attempt the mock so that you'll get an idea on how to really make sure that you are understanding how to answer the questions in a manner that you're going to get the highest number of marks. So it's very important for you to do that, and I cannot stress enough why it is so important to do your mock and attempt it no matter what the effort. And even if you fail, it doesn't really matter because it's not the real assessment. The second tip that I will give you in terms of civil litigation is making sure that you're not forgetting on how to fill up different types of forms that are given to you in the workshops given. So it's very important that you know exactly how to fill out and complete different kind of forms that you're given in different kind of workshops, and make sure that you know exactly how to do that, because you're more likely to get a drafting question in the civil litigation exam anyway. So it's very important that you are know how to fill out the different forms, because those are going to be coming up in the exam more likely. And also there might be a very specific section that you might need to fill out, and those might be worth a lot of marks too. So it's very important that you fill out those and you know how to do those very well. I don't know if I'm looking a bit weird, but I think this is fine. But the next tip that I'll give you in terms of knowledge is making sure that you get a good grasp of all the CPRs that are related to the civil litigation module. So this is something that you will probably know what I'm talking about, and since I don't really remember any CPRs at the moment, I can't really give you an example of what I'm talking about, but I'm sure if you're doing civil litigation, you know what I'm talking about. So get a good grasp of all the CPRs as much as you can. Maybe create a bundle, or maybe create a checklist, or make sure that you have a set notes where you have all the CPRs laid out and you know how to relate those in the essay questions or short answer questions as well. So the fourth tip that I'll be giving you all is making sure that you're creating your own paper in a way, or predict what may come up in the real exam and try to practice those as much as you can. I think this is a very unique tip that I have not given anywhere else, but aim to create your own paper based on what you see on the mock. In a way that will give you the confidence that you know how to answer these kind of questions if they come up in the exam, but at the same time you're getting a certain kind of preparation as well for the real thing as well. So it's very important that you look at all the questions that have been given in the mock and predict that will this really come up in the real exam. And this will definitely help you in making sure that you know exactly what to revise and what not to revise, and what you put your time into. So yeah, that will be my fourth tip in terms of knowledge. The fifth tip that I'll be giving you all in terms of knowledge and understanding tips is making sure that you're attempting all the multiple choice questions and all the quizzes that are given to you in the moodle.com if you're in City University of London. But if you have anything else where you're given work online, then please do use as many quizzes as possible related to civil litigation, because so even though you might be thinking the multiple choice questions are not the most important thing in the civil litigation exam, and also the criminal litigation exam for that matter, but it is very important that you understand that they carry a lot of marks anyway, and they're part of the exam, so you cannot really neglect them and thinking that they're not going to be that useful. So I should just be focusing on essay questions or short answer questions for that matter. But the truth is that everything that comes in the paper is very, very important. So it's very important that you give importance, or even more importance, on multiple choice questions, and try to group them up as topics, and try to group them up by topic as well. So it's going to be easier for you in case if in the exam it comes a topic about, I don't know, jury or trial process or whatever it is, then you know exactly which page to look at in your folder, and you can find it out very, very easily. So it's very important that you do this as quickly as possible and start doing it right now. The sixth tip that I'll be giving you all in terms of the knowledge-based tips in terms of the civil litigation exam is making sure that you are creating your own bundle for all the essay questions, as well as the multiple choice questions. I've already discussed that, but also creating your own bundle for all the workshop related questions that you're given in the workshops in themselves. And that's really, really important for civil litigation, because civil litigation is it's almost like property law, where everything is kind of like a step-by-step it's a step-by-step guide to reach a certain outcome. So for example, what happens before the trial, what happens during the trial, what happens after the trial, and so on. So it's very important that you organize your notes in that way in the folder, so that you're going to be able to know exactly where to look at in the folder in the exam, especially if the question is about, let's say, what happens before the trial, the pre-trial stages. Then you know exactly you need to look at the beginning of the folder, so that you can take those pages out, or you can look at your notes there, and then you will find surely the answer to the question. So it's very important that you organize your folder, all the essay questions or all the workshop questions by topic, and make sure that it's chronological, of course, and then you will be able to hopefully use that in the exam. And the last tip when it comes to the knowledge-based tips for the civil litigation exam is making sure that you're asking teachers help, whether they might be via email or face-to-face or after a workshop. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you are creating this bond with them as you know, as frequently as possible, so then they're more likely to tell you all the hints, all the tips and tricks on how to really pass the civil litigation exam. And it also shows kind of vulnerability that you're showing that you know what, I trust you, and this is why I need your help. And please do this also way before the civil litigation exam happens, because you don't want to leave everything to the last minute, and then everybody is giving them the questions and they can't really help you with that. So it's very important that you are asking their help way in advance before the civil litigation exam actually occurs. And now I'm going to be sharing with you all the organization and exam tips related to civil litigation, and they're all 8. So it's very important that I do that for you. And I can't really find a tissue, but I really need a tissue right now, but I can't, you know, go and get it because it is so far away from me. But I'm gonna try and finish this video as quickly as possible, and maybe then I can do that. So now let's move on to the 8 tips related to organization and all exam tips related to civil litigation. So the first thing that I will tell you is making sure that you're organizing your folder according to the stages, from the pre-trial to the trial stage and the end of the trial stage itself. So it's very important that you do this with civil litigation, because civil litigation, as I mentioned before, is a topic which is, or a module rather, that it is heavily procedural based. So it's very important that you set your folder in that way. So then again, as I mentioned before in one of the previous tips, it's going to be easier for you to take out those notes and look at them, and you'll know exactly how to answer the question, because you've already seen a similar kind of a question in the folder before, and also in the workshops before as well. So it's going to be very, very helpful for you to do this. And the second tip that goes really well with that is labeling the folder with all the topic names. And I've mentioned this tip, I believe, in the business law video as well, where I said that make sure that you're cutting out some your labels in an A4 paper in this size, and then you staple them, or you scotch tape them really, really well, and that will really help you in making sure that topic name label stays put, even though it has gone through hell, as I mentioned in the business law video, or it will not easily come out, because sometimes when you buy those labels that are readily available on stationery shops, they're not really that strong. The glue is not that strong. So I highly recommend for you to make your own label in a way, and in that way it will really, really help you in setting that out. And yeah, so you will be able to So the third tip that I would give you in terms of the civil litigation exam is making sure that you are careful in terms of the time management part of the things. You have to remember that the exam for the civil litigation is only 2 hours and 20 minutes. So you need to be really good at time management, because I would say please spend at least, I would say 20 minutes to 15 minutes on multiple choice questions, and the rest of it on the short answer questions. And if there is any essay questions for that matter, you spend that time on doing that. But please do make sure that you have enough time for the multiple choice questions as well, and you do not neglect them, because as I said before, they're a really big part of the assessment and you need to make time for those as well. So it's very important that you understand this. The next tip that I'll be giving you all is making sure that you are arriving early to the exam. Check the address of the venue or the exam hall if it's different from the university that you go to, and also do check out any nearby coffee shops so that you can have your breakfast there in case if you don't have breakfast at home. Or you can also find lunch spots if in case after the exam you're really hungry and you don't really know where to go and your home might be really far away. In that way, then you can go to a nearby coffee shop and have your lunch there as well. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to take care of yourself during the exam season, because it is very easy to neglect yourself and your health thinking that education comes first. But I'm here to tell you that health comes always first before education, because if your health is not good, then you cannot do anything, and there's no point getting yourself sick and then you can't really do the exam even on the day. So it's very important that you follow this tip. The fifth tip when it comes to the civil litigation exam tip is making sure that you are skimming the paper before you start writing. Now, I've mentioned this tip also in the business law and practice because of how good this tip is and how it has changed my life. Oh my god. How it has changed my life. The reason I say this is because then you know exactly which question to start from, because you're always going to be starting with the question with the highest level of marks, and then you're going to go down from that. So that will really help you in achieving the best grade as possible in the exam, because you have spent enough time on the bigger question, and then you have gone from the highest to the lowest number of marks question in the exam. So that will really help you, I believe, in achieving a more time managed or well planned answer to the questions as well. So it's very important that you follow this tip. When it comes to the sixth tip in terms of civil litigation is making sure that you're not using the textbook unless it's urgent, or unless it's something that you have not written down already in your folders notes that you're going to be taking to the exam. Unless you have not done that, then you have no reason to use a textbook. But obviously if there is a definition that you don't know, or there is something that you don't know, or you can't really recall but you've not written on your folder, for example, then I would highly recommend for you to use a textbook, and I surely recommend for you to take it to the exam. But do not rely on that for essay style writing, or anything that is going to be helping you in the essay, because that's only for understanding. The textbook is only there for understanding the content and not answering the question in a way that's going to give you marks in the exam. So that's really important for you to put that in your head. And the next tip, or the seventh tip when it comes to the exam tips, is making sure that you're not discussing your answers with anyone after the exam. The reason why I say this is because it can be really confusing, and you're really stressed after the exam thinking that if you have failed or passed the exam. And on top of that, if you go and discuss it with others, that's going to give you another further added pressure that you don't need in your life. So please do not discuss your answers with anyone after the exam, because that's just going to make you more nervous, more confused, and you might think that you have failed when you have not. So don't put that yourself in that pressure unnecessarily. And the last tip that I'm giving you all in terms of civil litigation exam is making sure that you understand the fact that if you really do feel sick like I am today, then please do make sure that you're submitting an EC form or an extenuating circumstances form, and you follow the university guidelines in case if you cannot attend any exam, what you can do and what you can set it. So it's very important that you do that. In my university, which was City University of London, what we used to do is that if you cannot attend an exam, then what you have to do is submit an EC form within 21 days from the date of the assessment. So within the 21 days you need to submit an EC form or an extenuating circumstances form, and in that way you will be able to sit it depending on what reason you give and if it's valid. So it's very important that you follow this kind of advantages, because I know that one of my teachers told me that she could not sit a particular exam because there was not extenuating circumstances system back then. So please do take advantage of that, and hopefully you'll be absolutely fine in sitting the exam. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do like, share, comment this video, and I hope that all the legal practice course students who are currently studying and revising really hard to pass these exams, I'm sure you will do amazingly well. And I hope that these videos really do help you, because I do try my best to upload this on a weekly basis, and I'm trying to cover all the modules that I've done in the legal practice course. So hopefully, praying that this will really help every single one of you there. So the two that I've left in terms of term one is criminal litigation and PCR, or professional conduct regulation module, and these are the only two modules left for the part one, or the semester one. So I'm really excited to do these two videos, and of course all of the videos of these legal practice course also have blogs under each of the videos, so now you can even see the written version of these videos, so you can have a look at the tips really well in a summarized format. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please do check out for next week's video.